Do you know what really, truly makes BeamNG special? It's not its soft body crash physics. It's that, unlike pretty much every other racing game out there, the suspension is fully articulated, and that is actually what connects the tires to the body. You could see it clearly with the collision mesh. This isn't just, oh, this is where the car gets hit. This is actually the physics. This is actually the weight. You're not telling the game, hey, the weight is this high and this far forwards or this far backwards. That's how games like Assetto Corsa does, and this is one that I set up for Assetto Corsa a while ago, and it was very unfulfilling because there's no actual suspension geometry here. It's literally just the game saying, hey, this acts this way. Whereas here, all you have to do is make the suspension, and then it goes, well, I suppose that's how wheels connect to the suspension. Now connected the suspension is to the body. And that is the quintessential thing that I love about BeamNG. That's why you don't see me going around doing crash tests or jumping off of the long jump thingies that people like Neological do. I respect his game, but that's not what I personally really truly find special about BeamNG. It is purely the suspension. Now, because this is so complicated, it is really hard to make mods in BeamNG, which is also one of the reasons why I think automation is so amazing, because not only do you get to quickly and easily design your own car to the way you want it to be, it somehow manages to completely give you the suspension that you want, and then it will just automatically export it the way that you've made it. And getting the cars into BeamNG being all automated is just a work of genius that they're able to do that. The amount of effort they put into this. So why, when we get it to BeamNG, do we have double wishbone instead of actual multi-link? This is one thing that has really, really irritated me so goddamn much. But nay, I say, I'm here to fix this injustice. And I don't actually know how the suspension works, so I want to actually see what the suspension differences are like if we had real working suspension like this. And this is going to be a lot of work. Like, a lot of work. So let's do away with this and import our vehicle. We're not going to play with the front suspension. We're only going to be fiddling with just the rear. So the rest of this can go away, and this is going to export again. I mean, just to make sure that we have this all set up correctly, this is going to be rear suspension. And then we're going to get to work. There's a lot to do here. For first, we need to break everything up into its individual components. And, you know, I don't think we need both sides of this. And then we're going to start by just kind of breaking this apart.
70 years later.
All that work just to get the hub separated. What a pain in the butt. So one of the things you may not know about the automation exports is they're like all breaking up. These look like solid objects, but they were all individual, like lots of faces. So let's go ahead, merge all this sort of stuff. Mesh, normals, reset vectors, mesh, normals, reticulate outside. And yeah, we still get some weirdo things. So let's go shade smooth. And now we have to go ahead and select the vertices that we want to have being sharper edges, but then not selecting the wrong ones. Like, you can see that this part is going to take quite a while. So, you know what? I'm going to pause the recording for a bit so then I don't, once again, fill up my hard drives. I swear I'm going to get carpal tunnel related to specifically making mods, but we've done it. We have our shock absorber here, and then every individual part divided up. And now we're going to make the actual real geometry for the suspension. Let's start by making a cube, because everything here only needs to be at least a triangle. So delete all of you and delete you. Then between you, let's create a face, and now we just have to line things up. Let's start with doing this suspension. So that'll sit there, this will sit here, and this will sit about here. Then fix its vertical value, and then rinse and repeat for every single one of these. Yay, fun times! Then next comes the hub. So how do we do the hub? I'm thinking maybe if we just select all of these, we can just make a hub. Next is this, the sway bar area. This one is going to be a little bit different, however. We're going to play it out this sort of way, and then it's going to work as what's called, I believe, a torsion sort of beam, which acts a little bit different. I've not really used it much myself, but we're going to try it out. Then the very, very, very final thing is we're going to make this strut, which is going to be tricky because we're actually going to be using slide nodes to create this, and I don't know how to apply a group to a slide node. Can I just make a slide node its own group for a... No, I don't think I can. So what happens is, with every mesh, it needs to have 3 axes of orientation to know how to render the mesh. Don't fully understand why, but that allows it to also then get crashed and rotated, and however things get mangled up in BeamNG. Here's a regular use for slide nodes in automation exports. It is for the steering rack, and then we need to create the rail name, and then the ID... Wait. I'm already confused. But then, oh god, then there's rails here. These are the 2 rails, and I think this is the one that slides along this rail because yes, steering rack is this. Okay, so we need 3 nodes to be able to make this work, and not just these, but they do have to be in line. If they are not in line, it will just crash and bang, and the vehicle will be unhappy. So, starting off with a single vertice, extract directly upwards, so then we have things working properly, then subdivide and perfect in alignment. This I want to connect to these bits, so we're going to create a few beams around here to get that to stay in place. So I think what I have to do for the top node is to create 2 more vertices. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll see. Then we can go ahead and export this specifically. Wait, hold on. Did I have said this? So I have this special thing here, which I don't know if that just worked. JBeam exported cube. Is this working right? Okay, so we got all of our nodes, all of our beams, all of our triangles. No values added to them, but we do have them here. Oh, this is going to get super annoyingly complicated. I suppose if we connect all of these nodes on the outer ends of these to the chassis of the vehicle, that'll create our suspension connection. Because if we have a look at how BeamNG shows how it's made in automation, is the suspension is its own like cradle sort of thing, but I suppose we don't need the side-to-side connection, or maybe we do, I don't know. Let's grab from something like a default automation mod, so because they'll have the code that we want. The first thing is collisions we'll grab, and some node weights. I don't know what node weights to go with, so we'll just pick one randomly. And that will go in here. Node weights will be applied to everything, which is fine by me. But now we have like multiple group stuff to deal with. Luckily, they have like only simple sort of group stuff. But we're going to go a little bit more complicated than that. Unfortunately, that little bit more complicated than that is not showing up here. Let's try in a different JBeam from an automation card, because they should have it here somewhere, what I'm trying to look for, which is some code which will allow me to, there we go, add extra groups. Well, we're not going to go with self-collision, but we'll grab this for now. NL24 will be this one. And then no group is going to be hubs of some sort. Ugh, I don't know what hubs to call this. I think keeping with their hub nomenclature will be best, so we'll get rid of you. Have a look at the rear suspension. The hubs are hub R and susp R. So let's grab hub R and plop that in this part, except do it properly. There we go. Okay. Now we grab this and apply it to also NL29, which should be about here. Then NL8 will be there. Good. You can see what I'm doing. Then we're going to come in and start changing this. So this is going to be new rear suspension. And now to basically do the structure for everything here. 24 to 30. Wait. Is everything? No, not everything else is all beams. So 24 to 34, easily found. And do this all again. There's only a lot to do. 18 to 19 though is here. This is all going to be in the slide node section, along with 19 and to 17 we're going to do. And I think actually, pretty much everything else here is all a part of this. Now, slide nodes. How do we set this up? This is going to be tricky. So let's grab, all we need is just the rails and slide node section, and we'll probably plop this up the top before nodes. You know, actually, hold on. No, after nodes before beams. It doesn't particularly matter where it goes as long as it's in somewhere. Then we have to find out, we'll duplicate this. This is going to be shock L, and this is going to be shock R. These will then go into here, and then the nodes themselves that'll be moving are NL15 and NR18. The rest of these, strength capped, sure, tolerance. Let's maybe format this a little bit easier to see what we're working with here. And this is the spring rate. If this is too much, it's gonna be really problematic. So let's like down this. This isn't like a structural thing. Let's just make this like super weak. Oh wait, no, these have to change. So shock on the left side is NL14 to 16. Then on the other end, I'm gonna have to look over again. 19 to NR17. Okay, they should work. The only thing we're missing now is the flex body section. In the way, and I don't know why they do it this way, for automation, they have the suspension, and then the suspension mesh is like a separate JBeam file? It's weird. We're gonna just have it all in the one file. We are gonna grab, because the offset will be set correctly, nope, no, that's the wrong one. Damn it, I meant to go the suspension mesh section, because they will have the correct like positioning offset, which they use for some weird reason. And we're gonna plop this right before nodes. And you know what? These are gonna have to change as well. This will be hub. This will be shock. This will be bone 1, bone 2, you know, you get the idea. And now start putting all the names in. So bones 1 through 5 should be pretty easy this step. We'll just duplicate this, 2, duplicate 3, duplicate 4, duplicate 5, then grab the hub, and you get the idea. Now what we have to do is attach these to the right one. So wishbone 1, I believe, is set up correctly, and I think I went down the order. Oh, I could be wrong. Then luckily when we get to the hub section, we actually have the ability to put in a comma, then brackets, and replace that with L. So now the hubs, which are technically left and right, are separate and in their respective groups. Well, kind of. Now we're going to try and actually see if this will work. I mean, I don't think it'll work right off the bat, but new rear suspension. Oh, I knew it. It doesn't like me. Whoa, okay, we have some weird mesh happenings. What the hell? What's flopping about? What is that? There's something flopping about. So that's one of my suspension bits. And you can see that it's not happy. Is it the slide node stuff? I suppose I can undo the slide node stuff. Because yeah, slide node stuff here is also a little bit Wait, no, that's not slide node stuff. That'd be stuff in here. The suspension isn't actually technically attached to the body yet even. So they should have just flopped to the ground. I don't know what the hell is happening. Okay, let's pause this, reset the vehicle, And what the hell? Okay, that's completely in the wrong place. I'm not sure why either, because the nodes should be down here, except, hold on, the nodes are not here. Where the hell are the nodes? Oh, I see them. The nodes are in the wrong place? Why? Under the main JBeam, it tells the slot for suspension to move. Okay, I figured it out. I don't know why exactly this happened, but it turns out, so we'll just refresh the car. No more braking, it's just flopping to the ground because we haven't connected it to anything yet, except for the wheel. I had all of the beams for attaching to the wheels having these values when it should have had something more like these values. So I went to the wheel section, or the hub section, and gave it the right values. I also stuck in some axle stuff as well. Now to attach it to the body, which is going to be fun, yay. Upper wish, but no, where's the next connect? Okay, subframe to body, let's grab you, then plop you at the bottom here, and this is going to be specifically just to connect everything to the body. Now, I could bring in the stuff for the body and then get everything to line up, but that's gonna be problematic. So let's just go through. Let's go left side first, because I have an affinity for left, because I'm left-handed, and go NL32, 34, NL32, duplicate this, 34, and then this is going to connect to, where would it connect to? I'm thinking, let's go with A6 to start with. Duplicate this. Actually, you know what? We can get rid of that line. Then they can also connect to A38. And we're just going to go through and give this to every single node.
Later, in the void.
If we come in and refresh this. Oh, please. Oh. What are those nodes? Has anything stuck around? Oh, something is very unhappy. Let's try downing the dampening a little bit, maybe? Oh, did I say I meant sprig if I said dampening. And oh, hey, look at that. Immediately fixed the issue. Okay, let's go in. Let's slow the game down to like 50 times. Refresh, and then we're gonna try to catch whatever nodes are falling, because there shouldn't be any nodes falling right about now. You know what I haven't done? I haven't attached the top nodes to anything, have I? Let's wait and see. Yeah, okay. I think these are... Oh, it's the sway bar! I completely forgot about you! Okay, so the sway bar and the shock is... yeah, just melting away. We've gotten to a good point now. As we can see, we have all of the stuff working. Brakes are having a bit of a hissy fit as they're fading right away. I'm not entirely sure what's happening with the brakes, but we'll figure that out later. What I want to do now is just address the fact that this thing drops immediately. Now, I know why that is happening. What it is the spring is usually like way out in the edge here, allowing it to like work. My brain isn't doing the working either. So it has a different type of leverage. What we're doing now is moving the spring really, really far inwards, meaning that this is now going to be crushed a lot more. And you can see that I did get the slide nodes working on the suspension strut. The bottom stuff doesn't really compress, but the top stuff does up and down the compression. So that's actually worked out a lot better than what I thought it was. I thought that this part would deconnect from the yellow part, but yeah, so now we have to go ahead and change the spring and dam values. Front right height adjust and rear spring rate. So we're at 44,000. Let's just increase that up to like maximum, see what happens. Hopefully this doesn't become too much of an issue. And for some reason, I've been refreshing the game so much, it now takes like so long to control R. But hey, look at that. I feel that is holding the car up a little bit better. Not a lot better, but at least a little bit. And it looks like we got a bit of toe, so yeah, it's not solid enough at the moment. And yes, that looks like a multi-link. So what do they have? They do have, oh, you know what? They have much broader triangles than what they need to have, and none of them actually line up with the actual suspension. Oh, that's cheating. No, that's not cool. Like, look at this. The suspension is here, but yet they've got the beam over here. Oh, come on. So not even BeamNG devs get it to work right. I do have one idea for what we might do. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we're gonna try it out. We'll start by selecting every forward node separately. This is probably going to change the suspension geometry a fair bit. Then grab all of these and move them that way a little bit. Then back in here, hopefully, it should be a little bit more solid and a little less wonky, because, yeah, that was very wonky suspension. You know, it seems a little bit more solid already. I mean, it's still very soft, but that's because we don't have the dampening to deal with the extra spring rate that we have. You know, let's turn it up a lot. And it's a little bit more solid now. Okay. Driving? Yeah, that's not going to plan.
You get the idea.
So I got it working a lot better, but not 100%. What we're running into now is a bit of a geometry issue. As you can see here, I've got this still splayed out, and I've just made them connect to the body a lot stronger. I've connected some of them to the outer area, so if I take a hit on the outside, it will affect the inside suspension. But now we're running into the fact that the wheels, which go from here to here, just, they don't like this part in the middle here. It's a real pain in the neck. I don't know if there's a better way of doing this, but as it stands, this is so annoying. This suspension now is very solid, so we'll just drive off, and you can see the suspension is rock diddly solid. The problem is this hub here is very, very small, and then the wheel, like, trying to anchor such like a complicated sort of thing to, like, it, too much leverage. That's what it is. Too much leverage. And if we go to an outside angle, if we accelerate now, you'll see that the wheels do move just a little bit. Like a little too much. And if we go like full outside and we push this thing really hard, you can see that the wheels are totally moving in a way that they shouldn't. This is the limit of my skill. But let's see what this vehicle drives like. Maybe if like there was a proper dev out there. Oh, it's kind of drifty actually. I have no driver reins on at the moment. The thing just, once it starts going sideways, it likes to keep going sideways. Oh god. Now this vehicle does not have like a huge amount of power. It's like 2010s, like early 2010s sort of V8 power. I think it's like 400 horsepower. Now, don't get me wrong. 400 horsepower is more than I've ever driven, but it's not like 1,000 horsepower or something like that, which a lot of people do from automation because it's so easy and you get to have so much fun. This would also be interesting to actually mess with geometry to see how suspension geometries change with multi-link. Okay. So it's a bit of a combination between the geometry of this suspension and the fact that the wheels are loose. Now, if there was a different geometry and the wheels were just as loose, it would behave differently. So it's rather interesting to think about how this works. Now, I fully do not, like, I can't visualize how the suspension works because there's just too many points of contact. So if the wheel goes up, this is going to pull it in. This is going to pull it in, but like that way. And then this one is almost perfectly in line, but not really. So as it goes up, it's also going to pull it that way. And then if this goes up, it's going to pull it back this way. So and then the very bottom one, there's a bit of a jiggle happening here. It's a pain in the butt cheeks, to be honest. Now, I am going to make this public as a usable vehicle, even though, yes, the handbrakes do have issues of overheating and cooking the rear brakes, but I'm also going to release the suspension as a special mod just for BeamNG vehicles. So then that way, all vehicles that have camso suspension R, which should be basically all vehicles from automation, will have it selectable, and it's going to be under a common drive. In fact, actually, I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to copy this, then create a new mod, camso multi-link Fillman 86 vehicles, then common, and paste it in here. I'll maybe also change up the name to not be cube. And now any automation vehicle, let me just bring out another one. We can select the new rear suspension. Maybe I should change that to new multi-link rear suspension, and this should be available. Wait, hold on. Oh no, parts are not going to be available. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to work, because it's calling upon, other things which are not here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think at the very least I need to go with something with double wishbone rear suspension. And it has McPherson's strat. You know what? We'll give it a try anyway and see if it works. And no, it didn't. That sucks. So I think this video is a rare L. I don't usually take L's. I usually keep working on things, but I'm gonna be honest, I just don't think I have what it takes to be able to make this work. It's beyond my comprehension of the game and how beam, spring, and damp values work, and so I'm gonna have to call it. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be available so you guys can futz with it. But for now, though, I'm going to have to thank my channel members. Oh, I mean, have to? I mean, I want to thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And especially who's awesome? Well, that would be the Rogue Tick, the Crayon Priest, for being a top tier channel member. For the rest of you, though, catch you all next time. Goodbye.